What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about some big news and some news that I have been dying to tell you guys. I know that this video is coming out so late for a Saturday. It's probably Sunday for some of you guys, but now we're here. We're ready to talk about it. And it's one big coincidence, one very big coincidence. We were talking about in the past 7 to 8 days, what areas should we reinforce? What players should we bring in to reinforce those areas? And now we sit here today with some big news. And the news is that Deco and some other people that work within Barcelona, right, the scouting department, they have traveled to Germany recently. And the reason why they traveled to Germany recently is because they have one goal, and one very specific goal. They want to reinforce the defense for the summer of 2026. And they went to go look at two players. One of them is from Dortmund, and that is Schlotterbeck, and the other one is Upamecano from Bayern Munich. It's insane. I'm just glad that at the end of the day, I look at this Barcelona team and I say, I am so proud of you. Like, if Barcelona was a person, I would be like, bro, I'm so proud of you. Like, good job, bro. Like, I have seen you like a baby, and now you're growing, and now you're very self-aware on what you need to strengthen. You know who you are, you know what you want to be. And this team, right, this Barcelona team is like 1 to 2 signings away to really becoming a complete competitive squad in Europe. That's very important. We're 1 to 2 signings away. 1 or 2. And those 1 to 2 signings, it could be a center back, which is either going to be Schlotterbeck or Upamecano, and then we have the striker position that we have talked about before. Barcelona are very self-aware what areas they need to reinforce, and that is the two positions that we have been discussing in the past 7 to 8 days on this YouTube channel. So we're going to be talking about like how Barcelona do plan to afford a brand new striker later in this video. The main meat of this video is going to be about the center back position and our defense in general, because I think that we have to be very careful on who we do sign, and we have to make sure that whoever we do sign, whether it's Schlotterbeck or Upamecano, can give us dividends in the long run. I think it requires much more studying, because when you look at the striker position, we can say, oh yeah, Julian Alvarez, Haaland, Eta Young. It's way easier. There's an abundance of options to just look at to see if they can reinforce our number 9 position when Lewandowski, hypothetically speaking, does leave. But for the center back position, it requires much more studying. But let me explain to you guys why Deco and everybody else went to Germany to go look at these two specific players, and why they did not go to the Premier League or in Italy to go look at Inter Milan or AC Milan or some other center backs, right? Why these two players? So let me give you guys that recap. Schlotterbeck, his contract is expire in the summer of 2027. Dortmund came to Schlotterbeck and they said, we are giving you a lucrative renewal. We want to pay you, I don't know, like 15, 18, 20 million euros a season. And we're also going to give you the captain armband. And you're going to become the leader full-time at Dortmund. So it is a humongous deal. However, Schlotterbeck has not said anything, nor has he responded. And Dortmund are getting worried. I have seen a lot of Dortmund fans. I have been looking at the media, and they have been saying that Schlotterbeck is most likely going to turn his back against us, that he's a rebel, he's a rebel, that he does not want to commit to Borussia Dortmund. They're getting mad. They're getting upset because they're like, why is it taking so long? So if Schlotterbeck says, I don't want to renew, I'm okay, I want to go somewhere else, Dortmund are going to be forced to sell Schlotterbeck in the summer of 2026, because his contract ends in the summer of 2027, and Dortmund do not want to lose him for free. They have to, and they will be forced to sell Schlotterbeck in the summer of 2026, and that price tag is going to be 40 million euros. And if you tell me, I tell you, hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Spend the 40 million euros to bring in somebody like Schlotterbeck to reinforce our defensive line. And that is why Deco and the rest of the sporting staff went out there to Germany to go look at the player. The other player is going to be Upamecano, which came out of nowhere, the Bayern Munich center back. Let me tell you guys one thing, and this is going to just solidify the whole conversation. His contract ends in the summer of 2026. That's it. You already know what that means. He's going to be a free agent, meaning that Barcelona don't even have to spend any money on reinforcing the center back position. We don't have to spend 40, 30, not even 20 million euros, not 50, 60, none of that. Barcelona would only be basically spending wage money, and that's it. But no transfer fee, no nothing. That would mean that Barcelona will have more money to themselves and go out there and really reinforce the striker position in the long run. But Upamecano is going to be a free agent, and it does not seem like Bayern are going to be renewing Upamecano. Not because Bayern don't want to renew him, but because Upamecano is saying, I'm not really interested, and the negotiations are stuck. Bayern want to keep him, but Upamecano might be looking elsewhere. And it's kind of crazy to even think about this because I remember 3 or 4 years ago, Barcelona did want Upamecano at one point when he was at Leipzig. But Upamecano said, I want to go to Bayern Munich. I don't want to go to FC Barcelona. Because at that time, I just believe that, Barcelona were not that attractive as a club. Bayern Munich looked in much better condition. And Barcelona couldn't really compete for anything at all. Barcelona also wanted De Ligt, but he ended up going to Juventus or Manchester United. I forgot who it was. It was Juventus. We wanted Upamecano. Upamecano went to Bayern over Barcelona. But Barcelona is like when you were in high school, you saw that one girl that was like in the 6th grade. You did not really like that girl because she kind of looked kind of ugly to you. But then like 5, 6, 7 years later, senior year in high school, she ended up becoming very pretty. And now you want to go back to that girl. That's exactly what it is right here between Upamecano and FC Barcelona. Barcelona were not attractive before. Now they are. And I'm pretty sure that if Barcelona come in and they come in with a really strong proposal and really give him that great sporting project, Upamecano might say yes. Because yes, there is other interest, right? So there is Real Madrid, PSG, Liverpool, who are interested in Upamecano, but we'll see. But Barcelona are in strong positions, and this is according to Mundo Deportivo. So let's go into the specifics, right? So let's talk about these two players because I want you guys to maybe have a better understanding on why they're looking at these two players, and then you guys let me know in the comment section down below, who do you think is more adaptable to FC Barcelona? So let's start with Nico Schlotterbeck. I know that we talked about him like plenty of times, so we're going to run through these numbers. I would say that he's more of the physical dominant defender compared to Upamecano. When you look at his ground duels won and aerials duels won, it does average at 72%. That is really good and is one of the best in Europe. So 72% of the time when he is encountering a ground duel or an aerial duel, he wins. It's really good. And so far in this season, he has 37 tackles, 29 interceptions, and 9 blocks. He has been praised slightly for becoming a great ball carrier, a great progressive passer. He's okay, like decent. I will say like a 7 out of 10, but nowhere near in the level of Upamecano, but still, he's okay. His strengths does really rely on his leadership, the fact that he's so seasoned, the fact that he can be aggressive when he needs to, which is the reason why he can win those ground duels and those aerial duels. Those are his strengths, but his weaknesses is going to be on him getting pressed aggressively. There is a very interesting stat that came out that states that yes, he is kind of risky as a center back when he's getting pressed and he has the ball, and he does lose the ball a lot. And it states here that he does average 14.38 ball losses per 90 minutes. That is very, very high, right? Something to like really think about, and something that I believe that Deco needs to assess before they even think about bringing Schlotterbeck to FC Barcelona. So now let's look at Upamecano. Upamecano is like the flip, the reverse of Schlotterbeck. Upamecano strengths does rely on, I would say he's much more secure on the ball. One of the best, I would say, in Europe in terms of like having the ball, being secured with the ball, and distributing the ball in a very elegant way. His pass accuracy rate is 89.64%. It is right next to players like Eric Garcia and Cubarsí. So of course, no wonder Deco and FC Barcelona are looking at Upamecano, the fact that they can bring him for free and become one of the best ball carriers, one of the best ball distributors. I would love that. And Upamecano has so much leadership and experience. He has won multiple titles with Bayern. I think that Upamecano can really give us a lot and play next to Cubarsí and really build that great partnership, right? I think that Upamecano, if I'm not mistaken, he's also French, so he would be the second French defender that Barcelona's gonna have, because we also do have Jules Koundé. So you can see that, you can already see, right, that there is this interesting like duet being built here. We're gonna have two French players at the back, Koundé and Upamecano. They're gonna be able to communicate and talk and have conversations, which in result does bring great chemistry. And then you also do have two Spanish defenders, which is gonna be Cubarsí and Alejandro Balde. So that whole defensive line is gonna be pure French and pure Spanish, bro. That's gonna be a sight to see. But if it does not end up becoming Upamecano and it is Schlotterbeck, I would also not be mad. I would tell you that in terms of his weaknesses for Upamecano, it does revolve around the ground duel win rate. Schlotterbeck is way better in terms of the ground duels. Right now, Upamecano does average 58.06%, like the win rate for the ground duels, and that is nowhere near what Schlotterbeck has, which is 72%. Even with the aerial duels, he's really not the best. Better than his personal ground duel win rate, but the aerial duel rate that he does have is 63.64%. Nowhere near, once again, what Schlotterbeck has, which is 72%. So that is going to be his weaknesses. I think that Upamecano does have the strengths, so does Schlotterbeck, but let me know in the comment sections down below. Who do you believe is more ideal for FC Barcelona's backline? Remember, Schlotterbeck is more of a physical enforcer. 6'3", physically imposing. He's aerial dominant, ground duel dominant. But then you have Upamecano, who is the, I would say, composed distributor, right? Somebody who can really match Kubarsi in the technical area. So once again, let me know in the comment sections down below. Now let's talk about Barcelona's defensive problems, because remember, we are in the international break. And during the international break, this is also a time where Hansi Flick can really assess what has been working and what has not been working. And Hansi Flick has been looking at some things. And of course, Flick has said that one of the things that is not working is the offside trap. The offside trap has collapsed, and it has been reported by Mundo. And they have stated that back in the 2024-2025 season, after 16 matches, Barcelona caught 105 offsides. 105 offsides. In this season, after 16 matches, we have only had 66 offsides against the opponents. So that's like literally less. That is more than half. And so I think that Barcelona's high line does look like it's no longer as efficient as it used to be. It's not synchronized. It is not effective. All the teams know exactly how to deal with our high line, and that is the reason why we have only had 66 offsides against our opponents compared to last season. After 16 matches, we had 105, which is insane. And Mbappe was responsible for like 90 of them, by the way. I don't know if you guys remember that first Clásico. Hansi Flick has also pointed out that we have conceded more goals, right? Because it states here that we have conceded 22 goals so far this season. At this stage, last season, we have conceded 16. So we have conceded 6 more goals compared to the last season. It's insane. And then we also have the pressing issue. Hansi Flick has stated this multiple times, that the root of this problem, and he has stated this, and I quote, that the ball is not being pressed aggressively enough, and he is working on trying to look, listen, if you want to press well and you want to press aggressively, first of all, you always need to be in the correct positions, and you have to be very well aware on where you're at, and you have to be organized. When you have those things in place, you can press much more aggressively. So I think that Flick has to organize these players better, and he understands that. Hansi Flick did also state that one of the ways that we can look at on how Barcelona do have these faults is by looking at how Kylian Mbappe scored his goal against us in the Clásico this season. Bellingham, first of all, received too much time when he had the ball, passed it towards Kylian Mbappe, and Mbappe scored. That is one very big example for all of us to look at on what is the root of Barcelona's problem, is the fact that we allow for the midfielders of the opposition so much time, and we're just like, yes, please, of course. Would you like a pass? Pass through us? No worries. Not a problem. You guys can score, no worries. And that wasn't the case last season. So that is going to be the things that Hansi Flick has been looking at. Another thing that has been talked about has been the goalkeeper role, right? Hansi Flick is dying to have Joan Garcia back. It states here that most defensive actions outside the box in all Europe's top 5 leagues, they must have a sweeper keeper. And Szczesny has not really been that guy for Barcelona this season. That is why Joan Garcia is really being looked at. Hansi Flick needs him. We'll see. I'm not trying to put down Szczesny right now because I'm trying to kind of close my tongue a bit because I don't know when Joan Garcia is going to come back. I understand that there has been a lot of good news about Joan Garcia coming back, but I'm not trying to talk smack about Szczesny here because I'm just trying to be more careful on not trying to put down players in the middle of the season, because I think that, every player is important. I do have my opinions on certain players, but I'll go in on these players and I'll roast the hell out of these players by the time this season is over, including Ferran. But right now, that's not the case. So I'm just so you guys know, Joan Garcia is a much better goalkeeper than Szczesny, and I only wanted to say Joan Garcia. So that is going to be the case for now. And I think that's it, right? We talked about the center back position. We talked about what Hansi Flick is currently looking at and what he does want to fix. There's clear bullet points on what has to be looked upon. And then we have the striker position, right? Just to quickly give you guys this kind of idea on where Barcelona do view the striker position right now. Barcelona believe they can invest in a center forward in 2026 only if 2 conditions are met. And let's remember, the striker position is being looked at, but they want to reinforce the center back position first, which is the reason why we even talked about Upamecano and Schlotterbeck in the first place. But Barcelona are being much more strict on the striker position because they want to see some things being met first. So let's start with, there's 2 points here. And I want to make this once again very clear. Barcelona want to return to the 1-1 rule, which is the financial fair play, right? The club expects this with the VIP seats installments in December, meaning once those VIP seats are installed in December, Barcelona can sell those VIP seats for, I think, another 80 to like 90 million euros are left to get paid. And once Barcelona receive that money, Barcelona can really go for the 1-1 rule. And then they're also going to be expecting to get a lot of revenue through the Spotify Camp Nou because it's going to be opening very soon. Within these next two weeks, 12 to 14 days, they expect the Spotify Camp Nou to generate them more revenue. So once they see more revenue come in within the next 7 to 8 months and before the summer of 2026, they'll say, okay, that condition is met. I think that we can start to get serious about reinforcing the striker position. And then the last one, which is going to be point number 2, is to resolve Lewandowski's future. Because if Lewandowski leaves for free next summer of 2026, that would mean that Barcelona would open up 40 million euros in salaries. 40 million euros. So once again, they're looking at that to see, okay, if we let go of 40 million euros, Lewandowski does not continue with us. With these 2 conditions being met, now who could we afford? And can we afford a striker in the first place? So it's very interesting, but I can see where Barcelona is going. Some things have to fall into place first in order for them to like really get serious about signing a brand new striker. And just so you guys know, and this is going to be the last time we're going to be talking about this, right? I know a lot of you guys are going to be saying, Kevin, are you serious? Are you serious right now? Like Lewandowski leaving for free in the summer? What? Like, why can't we just rip off Saudi for 100 million euros or 90 million euros? Like Barcelona doing poor business. Joan Laporta, he sucks and he has no pool and he's doing bad business. And Barcelona could have done much better with like some other businessman from England or whatever. I don't know. Something. But, you know, letting go of strikers and number 9s at 35, 36, 37 years old to Saudi for free is nothing new. Like, you know, Real Madrid let go of Benzema for free to go to Saudi, right? And Benzema at that time when he went to Saudi, he was at the peak of his powers. You guys know that, right? Did he win a Ballon d'Oro, Benzema? I don't know. Did he win a Ballon d'Oro? I don't remember. But all I know is that he was like so freaking good and yet he left for free to Saudi. It's very, very common to see players leave for free to Saudi. You know, it's just what helps the club is the fact that they don't have to pay the huge salaries and nothing more. So it's nothing new. So that's basically it, right? That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.